Hey everyone, Christian here, and let me see if I can't bring, there we go. So here's a review that a few people have asked about, and I thought I had done it, but this is Kentiopsis oliviformis, and this is a really good palm for growing in Central and South Florida. This is from New Caledonia, and as you can see, it kind of has this upright shuttlecock crown about it. It's crown shafted, very hardy to the sun, and some pretty cold hardy too. This does really well in California, and it can handle a decent amount of drought. So this palm, like I said, is native to New Caledonia. This, along with the flamethrower palm, Chambronia macrocarpa, are the two most common palms from New Caledonia that are in cultivation. And rightly so, they're really good growers, and they do really well in both the tropics and the subtropics and even Mediterranean climates. Just that Kentiopsis does a little bit better in the sun, and you can see this one's actually mature. I'll get a little closer here. This is a peduncular bracken. You can see the flower spathe is actually opening here, and it's really neat. It has almost ornamental, I guess it is somewhat. You can see all the little, the flower buds are all kind of opening out. It kind of has this purplish hue to it, if you can get up close there and see that. And this is like really leathery. It's very tough, and if you see these outer leaflets, these are actually leaflets that came out and got hit by Hurricane Irma. This plant is pretty hurricane hardy too. It probably saw nearly 100-mile-an-hour winds, and nothing really happened. So let me get back a little bit. The best part about this plant is that this is a good example of a palm that is, sorry, but I don't have my tripod with me, so this is quite unstable, but the best part about this palm is that it is uncommon and very cool looking, but it's not very expensive. The average asking price for palms like this, when they're field grown, are about $25 to $30 per foot, and it can be as little as 10 to 15 if you find the right grower. However, to get the best quality, best grade plant, ones that are fat, perfectly straight with no cracks, you're looking at about $20 to $25. But even this is a 15-foot palm. That's $375, and you'll see coconuts growing. I'm sorry, sorry, the mosquitoes are getting to me. You'll see coconuts selling for a lot more than $375. Around in Florida this size. I mean, coconuts right behind here, those will easily go for $500 at any landscaping place in Central. I mean, South Florida's a little bit cheaper, but $375 for this plant is a pretty good deal. So, like I said, it's from New Caledonia. It's probably hardy to the upper level of Zone 9A. I've personally seen them go through 27 degrees with no damage. So it can probably take a few degrees more. I've seen them go through 22, 23 and survive. And that's with a heavy frost. So I wouldn't go a whole lot lower than that. However, it's just that, when you get a plant this size and this old, if this is probably 12 to 15 years old, you just don't want to try and take that chance with like slower growing plants. So this is it's a moderate grower. It'll probably, like, of a 1 out of 10, I'm sorry, from 1 to 10, it's probably a 4 to 5. If say a foxtail was like a 7 to 8. So it's about half as fast as a foxtail, but it's very pretty when it gets, it's not a very big hog of nutrients. It doesn't require a lot of fertilizer to look this way. Just make sure it's well watered, although fertilizer always helps, where foxtails and some other palms really require a lot of fertilizer to look okay. So here's a younger one. We can kind of get a closer look at the crown minus. If you look at this one, the crown on this one is a little more uniform because there isn't a flower spathe behind the crown shaft. This is just straight leaflet, where on this one you can see there's a bulbous backing to it. So it has this more cylindrical look about it, and it's very smooth, very nice, and people tend to gravitate towards these when they're looking for a more uncommon look in their area. In fact, here's the third one with a very fat. This is probably the best one on this property. You can see how, and here's my hand for what's it called, for size comparison. I mean, this is a really fat plant. This is a really nice looking specimen. The trunk is nice and green, and it's pretty straight, and it's just a really well grown palm there. So the seed on this is going to be bright red when it's ready to go, and it is not the fastest germinator, They tend to take a little bit longer than, say, Chamberoni, about 2 to 3 months. But when they grow up, they're pretty hardy. They don't damp off easily. They just make sure they're well watered. And you don't need a lot of heat to grow these. And you don't need, I wouldn't put them in very wet media. I put it in kind of a little faster draining media. And yeah, give fresh seed 2 to 3 months. You can plant them with the fruit on and everything. That's what I do. I don't bother cleaning it off. That may speed up the time about, by a few weeks, maybe a month. But just for the sake of not having to spend, hours on end cleaning the seed properly. I don't have a seed cleaner, so I just throw them right in. But it's a nice plant, a nice palm. It has all the aspects of a good Central and South Florida palm. It takes full sun. It can take seasonal drought. It has a nice leathery bulbous crown shaft look about it. Let me get back a little bit here. And yeah, it's relatively cold hardy too, and very wind hardy as well. You can see it kind of sped right through. You can see the hurricane battered leaves versus the new leaflets, and it has a nice tropical look about it. So that's about it for Kentiopsis oliviformis. It doesn't really have a common name. It has a local name called like the Mananaro palm, but no one ever uses that. People just call it Kentiopsis or KO. So anyway, if you have any more questions or about Kentiopsis, where to get it, I can leave that down below. Or if you'd like to leave it, I can answer any questions. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll see many more palm videos like this. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time.